Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Going Places with Abomaika. If this is your first time watching my videos, welcome to my channel. I talk about moving to Canada and living in Canada as a new immigrant. This video is about the different ways of coming to Canada. It's the first of a series I'm going to be doing about the different ways to come to Canada for the long term. Okay, so I'm going to start with some common elements, some common themes surrounding the different kind of visas that the government of Canada issues. So I'm going to talk about the immigration landscape, and then go into separate videos on each of the pathways to living in Canada. So you want to find out more about that, do stay tuned. Right, so I did try to make a video, like one video summarizing each of the aspects, but it wouldn't really do justice because there are quite a lot of things. I like to explain concepts so that you sort of like understand and you're able to figure some things out, some basic principles. Okay, now when it comes to Canada, Canada issues two kinds of visas. There are immigrant visas and non-immigrant visas. The US also uses similar terminology. The term immigrant means permanent resident. I made reference to that in this video over here, right? Immigrant visas facilitate your entry into the country for a permanent stay. Non-immigrant visas facilitate your entry into the country for a temporary stay. Okay, so the big difference between immigrant and non-immigrant visas is permanence. With an immigrant visa, you can live in Canada indefinitely. You can engage in any activity you want. There is no specific activity that, like for example, study, work, or whatever. You are not required to engage in anything specific. You are a permanent resident. Okay, you're just like somebody who's in your own country, you know. So, of course, without some rights like the right to vote, the right to form a political party, run for political office, and get some high security clearance jobs. But you can live in Canada and do whatever you want. You want to study, that's up to you. You want to work, you want to start a business, anything. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, it's okay. If you're a permanent resident, that's it. You are a permanent resident, okay? No one is going to chuck you out of the country. Unless, of course, you commit some serious crime. Like, you can be deported for serious criminality if you're a permanent resident of Canada and you're not a citizen, okay? So it's important to understand permanence is the big difference, okay? Non-immigrant visas don't allow you or don't entitle you to live in Canada permanently. So you're coming here as a student, you're coming here as a foreign worker, you're coming here as a visitor, right? You get the same kind of visa. It's called a non-immigrant visa or a temporary resident visa, TRV, and that comes with a requirement. There's an expectation and
there's a speed trap ahead.
There's an expectation. Okay, this thing is telling me that there's a speed trap ahead. I don't know where the speed trap is. I am within the speed limit. Anyway, I'll just flip my camera. I'll show you as I'm driving to a little city called Sherwood Park. Yeah, so immigrant visa, non-immigrant visa. Now, non-immigrant visas, like I said, they come with a legitimate expectation for you to leave Canada at the end of your stay, right? Because it's a temporary visa. If you come here as a student, temporary foreign worker, whatever, it does not entitle you to live in Canada forever, okay? So, which brings me now to the eligibility requirements for a non-immigrant visa, okay? So, non-immigrant visa, you have to prove three things, regardless of the type of visa that you want to apply for, right? You have to prove these three things. Number one, proof of your intention to visit, your reason for visiting, right? So your reason for visiting has to be proven. You're coming, for example, to visit a friend, a relative, family, okay? You're coming here for a holiday. Show the documentation to prove that, okay? You can't just say, I'm coming to visit my aunt in Ontario. Well, prove it. That's where you get things like an invitation letter from the person, okay? Supporting documentation that indeed this person has invited you to come to Canada, right? So you have to prove the reason for your visit. If you're coming to study, I'm coming to study, I've been accepted by this institution, things like that. If you're coming to work, I've got this job offer from this employer, things like that, right? Reason for purpose of your visit. Then the second thing you have to prove for non-immigrant visas is financial means. Do you have the financial means to cater for your visit? Okay, so you're coming here, let's say you want to visit a friend, relative, or you're coming for a holiday. Do you have the money for that? You're coming to study. Do you have the funds to cover the cost that you incur in your studies? Okay, so that's very important to prove. You show the money, show how much it's gonna cost, and show the money. Okay, then the third thing you have to prove is that you will leave Canada. Now this is where a lot of people fall out. Okay, this is where a lot of people fail. This is where a lot of people get denied visas for Canada, right? They cannot show that they've got something outside Canada to return to. They've got something to leave Canada for. You have to show that your ties outside Canada are stronger than your ties to Canada. Okay? So if you cannot show that, then the government will not be satisfied that you will leave Canada at the end of your stay. So this is where you show things like your relationships. I'm living with my family, my wife, whatever. I'm leaving my wife behind, my kids behind. So definitely, I'm not gonna, leave them to just stay in Canada illegally, right? Then you can also show things like your business. What business are you doing? Your job. I've taken time off work. I've got this role in this company or whatever. Your community activities. I'm a politician. I'm fighting for change in my country. But right now I'm just gonna take a break, or I'm attending this event here. Things like that, right? Or I'm just coming to study and then I'm going back to my country to work. Things like that. So there is a requirement for you to leave Canada at the end of your visit, because you're a temporary resident. You're not a permanent resident. Okay? So those are the three things that you need to prove in order to get a non-immigrant visa. Okay? Now for immigrant visas, personally, I think immigrant visas are more straightforward because they have fewer subjective elements in their processing. For immigrant visas, all you have to do is to prove that you meet the requirements for immigration. So I'm gonna talk about express entry, provincial nominations, and things like that in future videos. But let's say, for example, you can become a permanent resident by virtue of, for example, being married to a Canadian permanent resident, a Canadian citizen. Okay. If your spouse is a permanent resident of Canada or a citizen of Canada, they can sponsor you for permanent residence in the country. Okay? So how do you then get the visa? Well, you prove that you meet the requirements, right? You prove that, hey, I am married to this person. And, by virtue of this marriage, I am applying for permanent residence in Canada. Okay, so as long as you can prove the relationship, you get the visa, right? So it's for me, permanent resident visas are pretty straightforward, right? So that's what I can say in a nutshell about the different immigration streams. Immigrant visas, non-immigrant visas. I thought this was important to lay out in the onset, because I'm gonna go deeper into each of the visa types and talk about study visa, what's involved, what's the process, what are some of the costs you have to incur, and things like that, right? So I hope you found this video useful. Give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video, and where I will talk about coming to Canada as a student. It's going to be my next video. Okay, so stay on the lookout for that one. Turn on notifications so that when that video is up, I will put it up in a few days, and then you can watch it, and then I'll go into the next topics. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I'll appreciate your feedback in the comments as I progress with the series. I will take into account any feedback you guys put in the comments. Okay, so please do. See you guys next time.